My name is Dr. Tony Fauci. I'm the director of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases at NIH.
As the world grapples with the coronavirus, immunologist Dr. Anthony Fauci has once again become a public force that translates complex medical information into everyday language.
When you talk to a group like this, how do you talk the language? Sometimes you just get, the average person gets lost.
Well, you have to make sure you're understood, and I make it a very important goal that you don't want to impress people and razzle dazzle them with your knowledge. You just want them to understand what you're talking about.
Fauci has been one of the key advisors to the White House and Department of Health and Human Services on the virus and how to combat it.
If we do not successfully do what I just said, prevent infections from coming in and dealing with the ones we have, this is a bad virus. Certainly, it is conceivable that if we don't do that, you could get as bad as Italy. But I don't think we're going there if we do the kinds of things that we are publicly saying we need to do. We need to be very serious about, for a while, life is not going to be the way it used to be in the United States. We have to just accept that if we want to do what's best for the American public.
His approach to the coronavirus started with containment, mitigation, an increase in testing, and developing treatments and vaccines, something he's learned from his decades-long career as one of the government's top infectious disease experts. Fauci was born in Brooklyn on Christmas Eve, 1940, into an Italian-American family. He grew up delivering prescriptions to customers from his father's pharmacy. Fauci graduated first in his class at Cornell Medical College and joined the National Institutes of Health in 1968 to fulfill his military service during the Vietnam War. He was appointed Director of National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases in 1984.
I believe now that we have the agent in hand, that the amount of effort and energy that's being put into it by biomedical sciences, that within a reasonable period of time we'll have a lot of these answers.
Fauci is no stranger to leading the federal response to public health crisis. His career spans 6 presidents and over 30 years of research. In the 1980s, his career heavily focused on the HIV/AIDS crisis.
I'm working directly on AIDS, both clinically and from a basic science standpoint.
He cared for dying patients, met with patient advocates, and has helped shape initiatives to end HIV in the United States.
But if you look at the history of bioterrorism and other types of attacks against the United States and other nations, it dates back to a variety of things, such as in the early 80s, the Tylenol episode, the salmonella.
In 2001, he helped the public understand the health dangers of anthrax and bioterrorism.
The SARS situation is a little bit more serious than run-of-the-mill, in fact, substantially more serious than run-of-the-mill influenza.
In 2003, it was the SARS outbreak.
Our patient, Nina Pham, is free of Ebola virus.
And in 2014, Ebola. Fauci has spent his career in laboratories, at patients' bedsides, in congressional hearings.
Things will get worse than they are right now.
And on Sunday morning talk shows.
I'm not being muzzled. Everybody who gets on shows like this, you have a normal clearance. I was cleared here, and here I am talking to you, and I'll give you the whole truth the way I always have.
President George W. Bush awarded Fauci the Presidential Medal of Freedom in 2008. Fauci is the second National Institutes of Health Institute director to receive the highest civilian award in the United States. At 79, Dr. Fauci has not slowed down. He tries to get 5 hours of sleep each night and is devoted to power walking and jogging.
I love to run, so it's one of the few things that I don't need to look for motivation. I have a pretty high-stress job. I spend about 15 hours a day in my office at the NIH, maybe more. So getting outside in the day and hearing the birds and smelling the grass is kind of a very pleasing thing for me.